week 29 without a gaming computer, I think. I actually have a bit to talk about this time. I got a whole page notes. So, let's start out with the first thing. It's actually stuff about my channel. It's nothing bad, really. It's just that I removed a bunch of videos. So, what videos did I remove, you may wonder? I actually removed my Batman Arkham Origins playthrough, my Wind Waker HD playthrough, and Mario 3D World playthrough. The reason for that is because almost the entire Mario 3D and Wind Waker HD playthrough was claimed by Nintendo. Almost every single video. And there were 6 or 7 Batman videos that were claimed. And I tried disputing them, and after a while I just gave up because they just kept getting wrongfully reinstated, and it was just stupid. So I removed them so it's not annoying me by being there anymore. If Nintendo and people ever actually stop claiming stuff like that, then obviously I'll redo the playthroughs, except for Batman. That game is... Arkham Origins is so dumb. It's so incomplete, buggy, and just a mess, really. So next is playthroughs I'm going to be redoing. When I actually get my computer finished, I did look up on YouTube and stuff, and I found Half-Life 2 can actually be run in 8K if you have 3 GTX 780s and SLI. So what I'm going to be doing on that is looking into if Shadowplay actually will record the actual resolution if I'm using DSR. So if I up Half-Life 2 to 4K, since I'll easily be able to run that with a couple 980s, but if I up the resolution to 4K with DSR, then record that with Shadowplay, I want to make sure it actually records the actual 4K resolution and not the output that's going to the monitor, because that's going to be basically like an extreme anti-aliasing that I'm seeing on my monitor, because I'm only using 1080p monitor. But if that is recorded properly, then I'll be redoing my Half-Life 2 playthrough, including the episodes of it, and doing that in 4K, 60 frames a second, so that should be awesome. The other thing, obviously, I'm not going to be doing that as a primary video. It'll be secondary. Anything I redo, it will be secondary. So that's also including redoing Skyrim playthrough. This will be either 1080p or 1440p. Probably 1080p, because when I redo it, I'm probably going to end up running the game with graphics mods instead of just making it the same old thing. Again, 60 frames a second. Everything I record, upload from now on is going to be 60 frames a second when it's playthroughs and stuff. This camcorder also records 60 frames a second. I don't know if YouTube is accepting it in 60 or not, though. I can't really check on the computer in the house because it just can't handle it, and I can't check out in my room out here on my iPod or on my Blu-ray player because those also don't like running 60 frames a second. So, yeah. If there's another game you guys want me to redo, let me know in a comment or a message or something. I don't really care how you let me know. Just tell me, and I'll put it on the list, and I'll redo it. Obviously, when I do redo these, it's going to be using different mic. It's going to be using different commentary. It's going to be normal speaking. I'm not going to go crazy and stupid like my most recent playthroughs have. I'm going to try and go back to being calm and speaking normal and stuff. I went a little overboard with getting a little comfortable, trying to make myself get more comfortable speaking on stuff, because it's still a bit annoying for me to do. But yeah, I will be redoing that. So it's not like it's going to be the same thing over again. It's going to be somewhat different. Also going to be redoing my entire Borderlands 2 playthrough, including the DLC. Same thing with that, except that, since I'm using NVIDIA graphics cards this time, that should be more interesting than the first time I went through it, because not only do I know where everything is and what to do, pretty much, I can run PhysX without any real frame rate issues. I was able to run PhysX on the computer that died back when it was still running. But when I did that, whenever stuff got a little too crazy, there were explosions, particles, it kind of got maxed out, the amount of particles, the amount of particles that could be on screen got maxed out, and they started moving around a bit. It would lower my frame rate down to like 20 or 30 because I was using AMD cards and forcing PhysX through the CPU. And PhysX really wants to be run through the graphics card, but you can't do that unless you have NVIDIA. So, because I have NVIDIA, then PhysX, no matter how crazy it gets, I shouldn't see, I'm guessing, any more than maybe 5 or 10 frames drop. And then plus using shadow play to record, that shouldn't reduce any more than maybe 5 at the most. So that should be pretty awesome. So now we're done with redoing games. Oh, actually, after I say, I'm also going to be working on the first Borderlands and the pre-sequel. First Borderlands, Borderlands 2, they're going to be done in spare time. Pre-sequel, I don't know when that'll be. It will depend on what new games are releasing when my computer is all done and everything. Obviously, I want to do new games first, but then, I don't know, schedules will change and update on Twitter or something when that time comes. Anyway, next thing. So, okay, I spoke about the game Hatred before. I spoke about it, and I kind of sided with the people saying it shouldn't be made. And I still say it shouldn't be made, but something I didn't add is that if it does, that's fine. I'm not against I'm not with stopping it being made. And there's something here that this is all going to come to, so let me explain this first. So the reason I think it shouldn't be made is because it's basically genocide. The point of the game is to create mass genocide, and it's just not really something that should be done. Every other game where there's killing, there's never anything about it that's genocide. There's always something less of evil in the game that makes it so, oh, you have to kill these people. Like Fallout 3, okay, you're trying to save whatever place that is, and obviously there's going to be a lot of gore in that because there's going to be a lot of killing. And they tried to make it a little realistic and stuff. But, you know, even with Fallout 3, then there's also bandits and everything. The killing in that isn't genocide. Even Grand Theft Auto. Any game, it's not genocide, alright? You create a lot of chaos, you kill things, you blow stuff up. You may technically be going on some genocidal rampage as you play the game, and you go in and you say, oh, I'm just gonna create chaos and kill everything here. But that's not really the point of the game. That's something people do to have a little bit of fun, but at the same time, they don't go around just killing everything in sight when they're doing that. They usually face off against the cops. They usually select something out that's a little more fun. If they're gonna go after some citizen, then it's probably not going to be as fun for them. And I don't think a whole lot of people just go chasing after regular innocent people on Grand Theft Auto games and killing them for no reason. Unless, I don't know, they're trying to attract the cops. But even in Grand Theft Auto, it's not really like it's genocide. You can say, oh, it's technically genocide because the player is going around killing everything in sight. You could argue that, but at the same time, the game itself kind of matters. The context matters. And the game, the point of it isn't to just go around killing everything in sight. And Hatred is. However, even though I still say it shouldn't be made, I don't say it should be stopped being made, because, yeah, that is kind of like censorship, and that's stupid, and that's worse than saying it shouldn't be made. Just let them, and if you don't like it, just don't buy it. I'm not going to be buying it. But the reason I brought that up again is because it was removed from Steam Greenlight. And I was like, okay, well, that's a little conflicted. I'm kind of cheering in my head at the same time. I'm like, well, that's not a good idea because people actually wanted it, and it is really kind of censorship because it's just genocide game stuff. So then I think it was a day or two later, Gabe Newell came out and he put it back up and gave him a response and everything. So it is back on Steam now. So, I don't know. It's just sort of weird. What is this? Yeah. Okay. And the last three things. The last one's going to be short, so I'm leaving it at the end. So next, Nintendo. Holy crap. So Miyamoto actually explained that there's a new Nintendo console being made. And it's supposedly supposed to be one to replace the Wii U. Now, this is bad, because, now, you know, obviously, it could just be that it's for years later, but I kind of doubt it, because if you look at the life cycles of the DS, holy hell, there were so many DS versions. DS, DS Lite, DSi, I don't remember all of them. I know there's still the DS XL stuff, then 3DS, now regular 3DS is being stopped, or is stopped or something, and they're coming out with the new 3DS, which is just stupid. Just a minor hardware upgrade, too. And the life cycle of those consoles, those handheld consoles, they're not very long. It's only been 2 or 3 years, probably, since the first 3DS came out, and probably not even 3. It feels more like it's been about 2. So, they're probably pissing off, actually, I know they're pissing off a lot of people because how frequently they're releasing handheld consoles, and instead of back in the past when it was Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color, the original Game Boy, even Game Boy Advance, really, because Advance SP was the same exact thing as Advance. The only difference was it was a little more compact and it had a light on the screen. But what they're doing here now is just so stupid. They're just making minor changes to make it basically a brand new console. That stuff will work on that won't work on previous generation versions. So stuff that works on the new 3DS won't work on the original 3DS. So it does seem like it's probably going to be another year or two, and they're going to release a new console to replace the Wii U. And the problem with this is very easily seen if you look at Sega. Sega was using stuff like CD, the Sega Saturn, and Dreamcast and everything. I don't remember which went after what, but Dreamcast was their final console, because at that point they pissed off people so much that they basically went bankrupt. They kept releasing consoles too quickly. They weren't getting a whole lot of games for it. Nintendo's following in the same thing. They're not getting third-party developers on their side or anything. They're being stupid and arrogant and saying, "Oh, we don't need third-party developers. We can go with our own first-party." And it just they're copying what Sega did pretty much. And with the new console being explained that it's in the works, it's being made and everything, it just gives a really bad sign, especially when you consider those handheld consoles that they've been doing recently. And it's not good. So anyways, next up, oddly enough, believe it or not, Nintendo didn't fuck up the worst this time. They still did, but because really you shouldn't, even if you're getting ready to make a new console, and maybe if it's supposed to be for 5 years later or something, don't announce it to people saying, "Oh, you're making a new console now," when it's 5 years before you even decide on a release date. Don't mention that. You should wait until a year before the release, then say, "Okay, we're working on a console, and in like 6 months we'll announce when it'll be released." You shouldn't give information about when you're working on it too early, otherwise people will just say, okay, I'll just wait, I'll hold off, I won't buy this console that's already out, I'll be patient, I'll wait for something else, especially when you consider how underpowered the Wii U is. Now, it was also mentioned by someone that if they stick to keeping a CPU and GPU separate instead of using an APU like Xbox One and PS4, they'll have a major advantage on the new console they release. That is true. The APU, holy hell, if you used a CPU and GPU separate instead of a freaking APU in Xbox One, PS4, that would be a hell of a lot more powerful. Especially if you also used DDR3 and GDDR5 RAM. Both types are necessary. They both have different uses. I don't know why Microsoft decided DDR3 on a game console, though. It was so stupid. It's the main reason why their console is so much slower than PS4. It's because it's system RAM. It's not meant for huge operations. It's meant for quick, small things. And graphics, like in games, is for slow, large operations, which is what graphics RAM is good for, which is GDDR5 graphics. So anyways, yeah, so Sony, holy shit, you guys are stupid. So someone hacked some hacker got a hold of some other guy's account, their PSN account, the PlayStation Network account, whatever. And when they had hold of it, they bought a game on a console that wasn't registered in the account owner's name. And when the guy got his account back and everything, he contacted Sony and tried getting them to refund him the money because it was his money that was spent by the hacker. And Sony refused, even though they said, we can see it was on an unregistered PS4, and that obviously the hacker bought it, and it wasn't the owner that bought it, and it was against their want, basically, that they didn't want the hacker to buy a game or anything, and it wasn't just whatever, you get it. So Sony just refused, so the guy is out with some money because he either did something stupid and got his account hacked, or he had a bad password and someone just got a lucky guess, or when Sony's stuff was all hacked from apparently North Korea, apparently some passwords were possibly leaked, or it was just some other hacker guy that just got in, or girl or chick, whatever, some other hacker that managed to get in and steal it through the network. Either way, whatever, they didn't refund the money, which was stupid, and that's something that should have been avoided. You should have refunded the money and removed the game from the ownership list. And I don't know why that was done, or not done, or whatever. You should have made it so the rights were done instead of wrong, and oh man, there's just too much yelling in my brain right now, like, are you fucking retarded? What? So I'm not able to articulate thoughts on that all that well. It's just too stupid. So the last thing, fish tank. Pretty much all I did on this, I can actually sit down and show you. All I did on this, zoom in. You can see the temperature is lower. It goes from 74 to 75 because I turned the tank temperature down a bit. That's really all I did. I did scoop out more of the gravel as much as I could. Snail's up there right now, moving around a bit. Looks like he's getting a little confused because of the little green tube next to him. Whatever. My big with the old auto I have is right there. It's all fine. I did notice, now I remember since I actually see those Serpay in the back, I did notice whenever those Serpay get really scared, you can see how they have sort of slits for eyes, basically. Trying to get one in focus. There, you can see they sort of have slits a little. The black area above and below their pupil, the center dot there, whenever they get scared enough, I've noticed during the last cleaning that whenever they get scared enough, they're freaking out too much, that area, that black area above and below the pupil in the center of their eye, like that guy right there is a little, just a little bit. You can see there's a change in him already, on one side at least. But that black area above and below their eye, their pupil, will actually go away, which is really weird. I never noticed it before. And you can't see the other little autos because they're behind the filter there. They're alive and well and everything. I think they hate the light because whenever one of them is out here, it's always zipping around like crazy. They're getting to be pretty strong and fast swimmers now. But yeah, they're back there. You can't really see them. I got a disc from a hard drive that I've been using as a mirror to see back behind that. But yeah, they're alive, they're all well. They're just hiding and eating stuff behind that because I guess that glass must be really dirty. Because I never wipe that or scrub the glass on the back or left side of the tank off. Only the front and right side because it's the only sides I can reach. Unless I reach in there with a cloth or something, but I don't care for doing that. I have a little a magnet hanging on the tank right there that I drag around the inside. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to let me know, comment, like, subscribe, maybe share. I know this video is probably boring. It's getting closer. And did I say week 29 or week 28? I don't know. I think it's week 29. I don't remember. Holy hell. It's going to be Christmas in 5 days. So that'd be neat. I think I'll actually be awake this year, too. I think I ended up waking up late last year. Then I think I was asleep the year before and the year before that. Yeah. So, yeah, anyways, see you guys on some other video. Maybe next week, so I don't know. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching.